Hey, this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about how when you're running a small business, things do not always go to plan. Alright, so this is the first video I've done in over a week. So it's very rare for me to miss so many days in a row, but the last video I did was a week ago Wednesday, with the exception of the live streams. I still do the live streams every Friday night at 5 o'clock UK time, but the normal Overpass Insights I haven't been doing, and the reason why is because basically last week was just a really tough week. First of all, I have a cold. I caught this cold, which is not a big deal. You know, we all get colds and we work through them, but it was just one of these ones where you're just like, ugh, I wasn't able to sleep very well. And then, but mostly it was just business stuff, just things not going according to plan. In fact, to be honest with you, I want to tell you this because sometimes I might make it look like very, I don't know if I make it look glamorous, but make it look like it's easy. But there's a lot of things that go wrong on a day-to-day basis, and I spent a lot of my time firefighting, right? So last Monday night, a week ago today, I felt just defeated. It was one of those things where I just fell into a spiral of feeling sorry for myself going to bed. It was one of those days where I spent the whole day just working and dealing with different stuff. So I've got I got a bug that I got to track down. The developers spent ages on it and couldn't seem to find it. So I spent a couple hours on it and I was able to find it. So I was kind of a little bit upset about that. I got some clients with some issues, so I got to deal with those issues, which is fine. And then also I've got loads of just stuff. You got stuff. And it was one of those days where it was 10 o'clock at night. And I was finally going to bed, and I hadn't got a lot of sleep the night before, so it was just kind of feeling bad. And then I get an email through from somebody asking for something else, and it was just like, it was one of those things where I just felt like, oh my God, I'm a slave to the world. And I just went into this spiral, like, I should just shut everything down. By the way, when I get into my spiral, it's like I can predict what it is. I know that, first I just start to feel sorry for myself, then I start looking at job boards, and then I have a good night's sleep, and then I feel fine the next day. But because of the cold, I hadn't really had a lot of sleep, so it just was a tough, slogging week. But, those kind of weeks happen. Sometimes things don't go according to plan in all cases, and sometimes you're just constantly firefighting. You're just trying to keep up with things, but that's kind of the game. That's kind of the way things work, right? There's always going to be someone who disappoints you. It could be a client, it could be a developer you hire, somebody you hire, or a marketing person or a designer. It could be technology. As a software developer, you know that technology lets you down again and again and again from time to time. I mean, for the most part, all of those things go well. And when the sun is shining and all the lights are green, everything goes through without a hitch and all the processes work. But sometimes you stumble. Sometimes things go a little bit wrong, and you're just trying to keep up and just make sure. Because the end goal, of course, is deliver these projects, make sure everybody's happy, make sure everything gets done, even if that means I'm in the office at midnight working on something when somebody else should have been doing it. It's tough, right? So I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Dolomite Is My Name on Netflix. So it's Eddie Murphy. I think it came out last month. I watched it a few weeks ago, and it was actually really good. I mean, it was kind of funny, I guess, but it was really good to watch. Eddie Murphy plays Rudy Ray Moore. He's trying to get the Dolomite movies done and all that stuff, and nobody's giving him a chance, and he's just pushing his way through, and every time he gets a door slammed in his face, he just perseveres through it. And he hires an actor, a famous blaxploitation actor played by Wesley Snipes to direct the film. And Wesley Snipes is he's just complaining the whole time, or the character is complaining the whole time, and everybody's trying to do the best they can. And at one point they said, "Is the lighting good on this scene?" And he says, "Maybe you should make the lighting lower so nobody has to see this, has to see this movie." And he was just complaining and complaining, and then Rudy Ray Moore takes him into the corner and says, "Man, what you're saying is not cool. These people are working really hard, and we're trying, I've spent every single penny I have trying to get this money done, trying to get this movie made." He said, if a box has to be moved, I'm going to move it. If the crew gets hungry, I'll go downstairs and make sandwiches. I will do whatever it takes to get this movie made. And it was, when I heard that, I thought, sometimes that's what running your own business or trying to get things off the ground, that's what it's like. You're just like, you know, this is going to get done if I have to spend all night doing it, if I have to take up the slack for other people, if I have to do it, because ultimately, as the business owner, as the person who's promised something to somebody else, or you're trying to release something, it's all down to you to deal with the problems and the issues and the things that go wrong, and something always goes wrong, and it's not so much, it's more how you deal with it. You know, you have your moments, I have my moments where I'm just sitting there defeated and feeling sorry for myself, but then, you know, you get a good night's sleep, you start again the next day, and you start pushing forward. Nobody said it was going to be easy, and that's why not everybody does it, right? Sometimes you just have to push forward when other people don't. When I was in basic training, when I was like 18 years old in the Army in basic training, I can remember, you know, we had these inspections all the time, and you know, if you've been to Army basic training, you know how tough it is. But we'd have this inspection, and I think the next morning we were supposed to have this really big inspection, and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was still cleaning, and there was like these bays with 8 soldiers in a room, and I was like one of those 8. And there was like bigger bays like you see in the movies, like with like 70 people in a room, but I was in a smaller room with like there were 8 of us, and you know, everybody else was asleep, and I was up cleaning the room, right? And because they were just like, they wanted to do just good enough, and I was like, no, I don't think that's good enough. I definitely want to graduate, and I didn't want their laziness to hold me back. So I'm just sitting there cleaning, and then like the fire guard, there's always a fire guard who's up, he comes by and he goes, Wroolie, what are you doing up? Shouldn't these guys be helping you? And I was like, they should. Yes, they should. Lots of people should be doing stuff, but ultimately it was down to me. And I was kind of like, if I have to work my butt off, and if I have to carry them to graduation, if they graduate because of the work that I did, I don't care. Ultimately, it's down to me pushing things forward. And I kind of feel that way sometimes with Overpass. Sometimes, you know, things go wrong, people let you down, and you just have to push forward. And that's the unglamorous side of running your own business sometimes, right? The client should never see that. You know, to them, you know, you're the headache guy. You take the headaches away from them. You know, you don't make it known to them like, oh, I'm such a martyr, right? You say, hey, things are going well, or we're having a little bit of a problem, whatever. The developers, they can't know that, you know, you're all stressed out, right? Although sometimes it seeps through the grumpiness, but things are hard. Things don't always go according to plan, and that's why I didn't do a video at all last week. So my question to you guys, for those of you guys who do run your own business, how much firefighting would you say you do? I mean, ideally, a week would go by where everything runs according to plan, and I'm just, you know, I shouldn't be involved all that much, but the reality is things do fall off the rails from time to time. There are exceptions to everything, and for me, but how does it work for you? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. That is it for today. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.